You say your life isn't your fault. You say people held you back, that your past made things harder, that circumstances were never really in your favor. And maybe some of that is true. But here's the question you keep avoiding. If it's really their fault, then why is your life still the same? Why are you still stuck in the same patterns, thinking the same thoughts, making the same excuses you promised you would leave behind? At what point does it stop being about them and start being about you? Because the truth is uncomfortable. Blaming others feels right in the moment, but it quietly keeps you exactly where you are, repeating the same cycle again and again. And deep down, whether you admit it or not, you already know that. There was someone who lived like this for a long time, someone who genuinely believed that his situation was the result of everything around him. He wasn't lazy. He had goals. He had ideas. He wanted more from life. But every time he tried to move forward, something held him back. And every time that happened, he found a reason. He would say that things would have been different if he had better guidance, if people had treated him differently, if his past wasn't filled with so many setbacks. And the truth is, his story wasn't completely wrong. He had faced real difficulties. He had experienced things that made progress harder than it should have been. But time kept moving forward. Days passed, then months, then years. And slowly, something became impossible to ignore. His life wasn't improving, not in any meaningful way. Not because he lacked potential, but because he kept placing the responsibility somewhere else. One day, without any dramatic event or sudden breakthrough, something changed in the way he looked at things. He started to notice a pattern. Every time he blamed someone else, nothing in his life moved forward. The situation stayed the same. The habits stayed the same. The results stayed the same. It was like being stuck in a loop that kept repeating itself, no matter how much time passed. And for the first time, he asked himself a question that felt uncomfortable, but also strangely honest. What if this isn't about them anymore? What if the reason nothing is changing is because I'm still waiting for something outside of me to change first? That question marked the beginning of a completely different way of thinking. Lesson 1. Responsibility equals power. The Stoics believed something that most people avoid because it feels heavy at first. They believed that your life, your direction, and your peace depend not on what has happened to you, but on what you choose to do next. This doesn't mean life is fair. It doesn't mean that people won't hurt you or that circumstances won't work against you. What it means is that you refuse to let those things control who you become. Because the moment you continue to blame, you give your power away. You make your progress dependent on something you don't control. But the moment you take responsibility, even in small ways, you take that power back. And suddenly, change becomes possible again. Lesson 2. Control what matters. One of the simplest but most powerful ideas in Stoicism is this: focus only on what you can control. Most people spend their time thinking about things that are already done, already decided, already out of their hands. They think about what someone said years ago. They replay situations that cannot be changed. They focus on outcomes they don't control. And in doing that, they lose control of the only thing that actually matters, which is what they do right now. Your actions, your decisions, your effort in this moment. This is where your influence exists. Everything else is just noise that keeps pulling your attention away from your own life. Take a moment and look at your life honestly, without trying to justify anything or explain it away. Think about the areas where you feel stuck, where you feel like things should have been different by now. Now ask yourself a simple question. Where am I still blaming something or someone outside of me? And more importantly, has that blame actually improved anything? Or has it quietly kept you in the same place, repeating the same patterns, waiting for something that never arrives? Lesson 3. Small shift. Real change. The man in that story didn't change everything overnight. There was no sudden transformation or perfect moment where everything became clear. What changed was much smaller, but far more important. He stopped asking who was responsible for his situation and started asking what he could do with what he had. At first, the answers were simple: managing his time better, showing up even when he didn't feel like it, taking small actions instead of waiting for motivation. And slowly, those small changes began to build something different. Not a perfect life, but a life that was finally moving forward, because he was no longer waiting for the world to change. He had started changing himself. Blaming others feels like protection, but in reality, it keeps you tied to the past. It keeps your attention on things you cannot influence, things that have already happened. Responsibility feels heavier in the beginning because it removes your excuses. It forces you to face where you are and accept that change depends on you. But at the same time, it gives you something that blame never can. It gives you direction, movement, and the ability to shape what comes next. Your past may have shaped your situation, but it does not have the power to define your future unless you allow it to. So the next time that question appears in your mind, why is my life like this? Pay attention to your answer, and then ask yourself something more important. What would actually change if I stopped blaming others and finally took responsibility for